Hi, it's Jen with Astrology. Welcome to my channel. Today we are starting off a new series about getting to know the natal chart. So I had my husband cut me out this big nice wood circles. He's so handy, and I kind of added all the signs on there and all the house separations. So each sign is in a little triangle. There's going to be 12, one for every sign and one for every house. Houses are the part of your life where this will affect you. So let's pretend this is your chart. Your rising sign is in Aries, and we're going to start it there. We start it in Aries only because Aries is the start of the zodiac. It's the start of the zodiacal new year, the spring equinox, what we're all looking forward to after this long winter. We are ready, and that's just coming up in about a week or so, so we're looking forward to that. So Aries, and then we have Cancer, we have Libra, and we have Capricorn. Now those are what we call cardinal signs. Cardinal signs are the signs that kind of get you going. They give you a little push. They're the ones that, that start everything off. They start off each season. So Aries starts the spring season. Cancer starts the summer solstice. The Libra starts the fall equinox, and Capricorn is the winter solstice. So they all kind of get things going. The second one you're going to see is the fixed signs. So the fixed signs are just what it sounds like. They're fixed. They're, right there in the middle. They like where they are. They feel safe. They feel comfortable. They don't like a lot of change. They want to be there, kind of right in between, sign 1 and sign 3. So we have we have Taurus, we have Leo, we have Scorpio, and Aquarius. Next, we have what's called the mutable houses. Mutable meaning it's changeable. I like to say they go with the flow. They kind of, whatever you throw at them, they're going to make it work. Somehow kind of put everything together. Funny thing, a lot of serial killers, a lot of criminals have mutable signs as their main sun sign or rising sign. That's because they pick up the pieces. They kind of can figure stuff out on the fly, which is a horrible example, but it's true, unfortunately. But those people, if you know them, they're Geminis, they are Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. All are kind of, especially like Pisces, they're kind of flowy, just like the fish. They kind of, one fish is going one way, one fish is going the other way. So they kind of, don't know where they're going, but they're making it work. Sagittarius, they are so ungrounded, so unlike the fixed signs where they are on the go. They want to, constant change, travel. They want to experience things. They want to learn new things. Leo, it's more kind of about, self-flamboyance, kind of, they're represented by the sun. So look at me, here I am, surround yourself around me, keep me safe. Because, the world everything revolves around the sun. And Leos kind of think the same way. Taurus is just that kind of little bull that, they sit there and they eat their grass all day. When you give them a push, they'll get going, but sometimes you got to really spur them along to get them moving. So then, oops, my light just turned off. So bear with me. I obviously am doing this in one take, so this is what happens. Okay, so next, with the mutable signs, you'll see, they're changeable. They're, so as long as we go with this is called angular signs. So not angular signs, but angular houses. So each sign is in a house. So each little pie not only represents the sign, it also represents the house. The house is the part of your life where this is going to affect you the most. So pretty much the first house is going to be south, and if we go to the angular houses, it's the 4 majors, same as the seasons, the ones that kind of get it going. So again, self, home, and upbringing. We have relationships up here, and then we have career and reputation. So what you want to look at when you're starting to look at a chart is where things fall within this chart. So there's all different chart kind of shapes. So what you want to look at is, first of all, where is your sun? So we have our sun. Let me get it. Here's our lovely sun. Now, here's our horizon right here, right between the first house and the 12th house, and then between the 6th house and 7th house. So here's our horizon line. If your sun is over the horizon, you have a day chart. If your sun is below the horizon, you have a night chart. That is important because of the planets that are your most beneficial planets and the ones that are your least beneficial or maybe a little rough. So that's what you want to look for first. So let's say you have a sun in, we'll say Capricorn. So that is right up here. Say this is kind of what your chart looks like. We'll say your rising sign is Aries. Again, the way you find your rising sign is knowing your birth time. If you don't know your exact birth time, then you're not going to know your rising sign. So it's best to look back on either a birth certificate, if you have one. A long form, I think, has those usually. Even a baby book by your mother. Maybe your mother remembers the exact time. I know with my kids, I have that chalked into my head, and I don't call my son until 2:44 on his birthday because that's what time he was born, and that's just how we do it. So times have always been important. You kind of want to know. That adds that extra flair. A lot of times when you are doing horoscopes, you're looking at your sun sign. That isn't necessarily the only thing you should be looking for. You should be looking for your ascendant, because that's going to show the other placements around and what part of your life it's going to affect. So if you have, say, the sun in Capricorn with an Aries rising, it's going to show, you're pretty outgoing. You are fixed at getting things started. You want to get out there. You want to have a good career, and you're going to do, sometimes with Capricorn, pretty much nothing's going to stand in your way. Aries is a very active sign. It's very outgoing. Sometimes it does things without thinking, which can be good in some aspects. Then you don't have to think and rethink, and, more like, say, a Libra, which is on the complete opposite if you look, which would be a little more, I can't decide, this sounds good, this also sounds good, so I can't make a decision. If you've ever been out to dinner with a Libra, you know how that is, because they usually can't pick off the menu and they're the last to decide. I know I am. So then what you want to do is you want to look at all the placements in your chart. You want to look at your moon sign. So where is that, and where does that fall? And then, of course, your rising sign. So those are the 3 ones you want to look at first. So the rising sign represents who you are coming into this world as. It also represents your appearance. It represents kind of your foundation. It's coming in from, that's new life. That's what is bringing you into this world. So that's kind of what is making you you. The sun sign is almost what you are going to be developing towards in your life. All of these act as a little bit of a flair to who you really are. That's why when you read a horoscope and it says that, oh, you're a Scorpio and you're gonna find love this week, there's so many different aspects. So we could say like, oh, well, I didn't find love this week. What happened? Well, that's why you want to know your whole natal chart instead of just the same thing, because not every single Scorpio in that week is going to find love. So they all are different. Everybody's different. Not one chart is exactly the same. Not even for twins. Most twins, at least they have different rising degrees or different rising signs. So back to this. So you want to look at first those three. And then, the moon, of course, is the moon is your feelings. It drives your feelings, your motivations, your wants, your needs, the way that you want to be loved and the way that you love, the way that you want to give care to other people, how you want to be taken care of. So that's kind of more on an emotional level. So that is represented by Cancer, and you can kind of see how, like, I'm sure Cancers are so emotional, or Capricorns are so stern and strict, and everything's kind of put into a box, but that's why you have to get a little bit of everything going. The next thing you want to look at is the way that your chart looks. So you just get a general look of it. So I have some examples here of different chart styles. So if you can see here, I took the names out, but I just want to show you. This has the planets pretty much splattered all around the chart. And that is what we call like a splay chart. So that kind of shows that you have interests in lots of different things. You're kind of a more well-rounded. You're not really fixated. You're kind of, easygoing. We have, and then if you have a chart that looks like this, don't be nervous. Like, oh, I have all these empty houses and everything's over here. So this is kind of what we call either a bundle or a bowl chart. It's a little kind of bit of each. So everything's kind of fixed in this one area. So that also has to do with the area of your life where that is going to, that area of your life is going to be a major player throughout your life, whether you like it or not. So unfortunately in this chart, or fortunately, that's the 7th house, and the 7th house is about relationships and love. So there's going to be a lot of issues or excitement, drama, things going on in that house for that person. And knowing that person is definitely true. So moving on, every house is broken up into 30 degrees. And degrees are where you are in that time. So if you are looking at, and you are, say your sun is in the early degrees of Aries, you are kind of the purest of that sign, and you're bringing in to that sign a little bit of what was in the other sign. In the middle, you're kind of, you become that full Aries. And then if you're at the end of it, you almost are kind of, I'm an expert at being an Aries now, I'm kind of going to start developing into something else. As you go into from one to another, you can see the changes. You can see the polarity. So we have these four are what I said was our cardinal signs. They are all square to each other. So when you go along with synastry, we're going to learn about how they're square to each other and how that all works out. The last thing we want to look at is all the glyphs. So the glyphs are kind of the picture that they have of the signs. Most people know what their glyph is, just because astrology is so popular nowadays. You can get necklaces, you can get bracelets. They have, books with pictures on it, all with your signs, and they're all kind of a representation of what that actual sign is. And you can kind of get a gist of what it's like by the glyph or by the symbol that represents it. So first with Aries, we have the ram. Now the ram, you know, if you think about it, cardinal sign, rams forward. It gets you going. It gives you a push. Then we have Taurus, and it looks like a little circle with the little horns on top. So it's a bull's head. Again, it's fixed. You got to give them a little push to get going. They don't want to move sometimes. They just want to be where they are, where they're safe. Then we have Gemini. Gemini is the double. So its represented, or its symbol, is the twins. The twins, if you think about twins or even two people, you think about like conversations, you think about ideas and bouncing ideas off each other. Next we go to Cancer. Now we have the two, kind of a yin and yang, kind of your heart and soul and mind all kind of melded into one. Cancer is about caring, about nurturing. That's why it kind of is represented in the 4th house here. Next we have Leo. Leo is the circle with the kind of swoosh on the back, which is kind of like a ponytail. So it's kind of like Leo with their mane, and they're showing it off, and oh, look how beautiful I am. And if you know Leos, like I know Leos, they do. Next we have Virgo. So Virgo is kind of an M with a little hook here. Virgo is represented or symbolized by the like a hermit or a virgin. They're not entirely hermits. They're more perfectionists. They're list takers. They're, you know, they want to fine tune everything. They want to figure everything out. They want to really narrow things down and know how things work and really get down to the nitty gritty. Next we have Libra. So if you look, now we're starting to get into what is called polarities. So we're going to look at the opposites. So if you think about Aries, Aries is about, you know, I want this, I'm doing this, I'm, you know, going for this. You look at Libra. Libra is more about relationships and partnerships, balancing, really overthinking, kind of, so it's an air sign, so you're always thinking, you're analyzing. So you can see right here the polarity. So the polarity is the opposite. So then we start moving into the polarity of Taurus with Scorpio. So Scorpio, where Taurus is kind of into the finer things, it likes good food, good drink, it likes, you know, beautiful things, it likes, you know, being outside in nature. Scorpio is more of it's a feeling kind of a sign. It's really deep. It really wants to know everything it can know about a topic. It goes deep and kind of digs to the bottom, very, you know, gets really in. They are also extremely devoted. As a fixed sign, most fixed signs are devoted. Scorpio is almost fiercely devoted. Almost overly passionate, almost obsessive they can be at times. So there's where we kind of go in the opposite, where they're more kind of, you know, the way they are, they're more of that passionate. So then we look at Gemini and Sagittarius. Now, I don't see much of a polarity with these two. Sagittarius is about, they're both kind of learning signs. They like to learn a lot. They like to know a lot. Gemini is into, you know, like thinking and that kind of thing, where Sagittarius is more about kind of higher learning, even spiritual learning, a lot to do with religion and, you know, maybe even like collegiate. They love travel, so they love just learning new things, like trying new things, going new places. So that's, you know, kind of the opposites there. Then we go to Capricorn and Cancer. Now, Cancer, we've already talked about, is all driven by your heart. Where Capricorn, the polarity, is driven by reputation, career. They want to have things, and if you want to figure things out and you want to know the way things are going to be done right, a Capricorn's the way to find out. My husband's a Capricorn, and before he does anything, he has, all his ducks in a row. He, obviously wouldn't have his light shutting off on his video like I just did. So he would have things pre-planned, figured out, and here's how we're going to do things, and here's how we're going to have success. Me being a Libra, I'm an air sign. Oh, we'll just go for it and see what happens. So that's what we're doing. So that you can see the polarity there. That one, I think these are the most obvious polarities. Then we have Leo and Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is another sign where they want to help others. They want to be the humanitarian. They want to extend help wherever they can, and they feel like that's the way it should be. Everyone should be like this, and everyone should be helping people. And if you don't, it's kind of not always the best thing. So that's kind of opposite, where Leo is more self-focused, where Aquarius is more outer focused. They're focused on others and helping others. Not that there's anything wrong with either one, it's just the way that they are. And you have to have the balance pretty much on the world, because if you don't have balance and you don't have polarity, everybody's exactly the same, and nobody wants that. Last, we have Pisces. So Pisces and their polarity is Virgo. Now, Virgo, we had talked about, is very, by the book. They want to take lists. They want things. They want to know how things work. They want to know the ins and outs of everything. Pisces, complete opposite. There's no boundaries with Pisces. They're kind of like smoke and mirrors. They're just, whatever, and I'm accepting of everything, and if that's the way it is, that's great. They're believers. They sometimes could be gullible, but a lot of times that's good. They accept anybody, anything, any differences, and you see that a lot in today's world, where that's coming out more and more, which is a great thing, and that's what this world needs. So that's pretty much all a start of what you're looking at when you're looking at the chart. So next time we are going to probably get a little more in depth with each sign, and then we might add some planets to it. So I hope you had fun. I hope this was a little informative for you, and I hope you join me on my next video. So please and if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to get updates about our next in our series of Astrology the Basics, then hit the little bell and you'll see when that one comes up next. So I look forward to it. Have a good one.